Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Sorry, we're a few minutes behind. That was interesting. We're having a little tech difficulty on the streaming side, but we're here. We're live. We're now. Welcome, one and all. Today is June 9th, 2020. This is episode 18 of Pop Culture Warrior, the show where I stay up to date on all the ins and outs of what's happening in pop culture so you don't have to. I am CQ. Your pop culture guiding spirit. And with me, as always, is the mother of dragons, the voice of the unpop cultured, the unsullied himself, Mr. Radar. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, man?
How you doing, man?
Yeah, let's do this. A little bit late.
You're a few minutes late. It's all right. We're good. We're good. We got plenty of time and plenty to go over. How you doing, bud? How's the week going?
Man, I'm tired, but I'm good. I'm good, man. Just fucking working, but we're all good, man.
Hanging in there, bro. Hanging in there.
Hell yes. And God, I hope someone from Fort Leonard Wood is like listening right now, because my boy just showed up at some point, I guess in the last hour or so, to Fort Leonard Wood to start his adventure in the basics of trainings.
Fantastic.
So,
Fantastic.
Yep. If you're at Fort Leonard Wood right now, hit up the radar page. I'll tell you his name.
Hook him up.
Yeah.
Take care of your boy.
I'm trying so hard to help him for the last 2 days. I was like, look, if they don't have a patch on their right arm, you don't have to listen to them.
True enough.
And then I told them that if they've got a chicken that says airborne on their right
chicken.
Yep, they actually are not airborne, and they're a fucking leg, and you call them that, and then just walk away.
That's right.
And he's like, well, they're my superiors. I'm like, well, they're not really your superior because they're not airborne.
That's
so
right. They're airborne. That's right.
They might outrank you, but they're not superior. So,
that's good stuff.
And then I gave them, I was letting them know about, if they have a tab that says ranger, they're just actually a park ranger, and they're just there to watch, and they're not really in charge of anything. So you have to listen to them. And the guys that have it's like an arrowhead with a lightning bolt, those guys are just like, a sword in the sword. They're just electricians. They're just there to fix stuff. You don't have to listen to them either. So
Smart.
I'm trying to give them all of the help, to navigate.
Advice.
Yep, basic training and.
Great advice, man. You're taking real good care of your guy there. That's awesome. Big shout out to everybody that's on so far. I can't see y'all with what I got, but I see Jose, Maria, Jeff, Matt, all of you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I can't see everybody that's on. I usually have a unified across all of our medias. Like I said, one of the servers decided to play funky with me, so I'm running at about half capacity. But I know you guys are there. Put your comments in the chats. Radar's keeping an eye on things, and we're going to get to you every question, every comment you guys have. We'll get to it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We got so much to cover. I'm super excited. First, as always, let me just promote this out here. On our Facebook page, on the Pop Culture Warrior Facebook page, we're at 236 likes. Now, once we get to 250, we're gonna have a big giveaway. So like the Facebook page and share it so that other people can like it, so that we can get to 250 and do the big giveaway. The first little prize pack that I've put together is, you'll probably get some show swag, because, of course. But this little box here came, and I don't want to put my address out there like that, but this came from New Jersey. This came from the home of Kevin Smith and Jay Muse's Secret Stash comic book shop. It's filled with goodies, and I won't show you all the goodies, but just one good teaser to get you guys excited is, this is I guess a hockey jersey patch thing, signed by Kevin Smith, and it's obviously of his Tusk movie that he did. So yeah, it's like a big iron-on decal and threaded, very nice, very high quality, signed by Kevin Smith. and a bunch more stuff in there. So that is up for grabs, along with some other goodies that we will put together for one lucky person of the Facebook page that likes the page. So definitely like the page and share it out there so that people can see it. We can get to the numbers. And I see the first giveaways at 250. We're gonna keep doing them. Every big milestone, we're gonna keep doing them. So you're on there, right, Radar? You like the page? You shared it out.
I've liked it and shared it as Radar and as me, as me in real life. My real book has actually also.
So people can look for at the friends of Pop Culture Warrior and find you, huh?
If they really want to. I mean, if it's whatever, it's fine.
Your secret identity is out there.
Never. Well, and you know, like I don't really care so much, but there's people who we work with who need the anonymity.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
So I prefer to keep mine just because I don't know, some of y'all are crazy, and I don't.
No, hey, I agree with you. And here's the thing: I respect absolutely for people that need the anonymity and they want the anonymity. I all the respect in the world for it, and I never challenge it. I'm kind of a public persona, in that I've put myself out there, stand up comedy and speaking engagements and all these different things. So I've got nothing to hide. It's been all over the news about people getting in trouble for shit that they have put out there on social media. And I'm like, all the stuff that I put out there is either super positive and uplifting, or it's my own personal beef. And I say it's my own personal beef, but that I never put others down. It's just like, hey, I have an issue with this, but you do you. You know what I mean? We'll get right into it. And I don't even have this to go over, but it's something that struck a chord. There's an actor on the show, Flash. He's the guy that played Ralph Dibny, Elongated Man, and he has been fired from the show Flash because of tweets that he put out back in like 2012, 2013. He didn't even get on the show until 2017, so many years after this. And he's getting fired for it now in 2020 because of it. But it was comments that were, considered homophobic or misogynistic or whatever, maybe slightly racist. I don't know. I didn't dig into what the tweets were. They were talking about like I touched boobs today, or like things like that. And so he's getting into trouble. He got into trouble for that, and he apologized. But lost his job because of it. So you definitely gotta watch what you put out there in social media. I mean, yeah, it's people. I don't know. I don't know how 20 years from now, 30 years from now, people are going to run for public office or run for any elected position because they were like, is it true in 2007 you said fuck the police? Like, right. And now you're trying to be, governor of the state. Like, I mean, it's just, did you put on May 12th, smoke weed every day? Like, is that your, Mr. President, is that your tweet? Like, it's, I don't know. Culture's going to have to change. But anyway.
I'm going to say this, though. I'm going to throw this out there. Actually, in a couple of years, that might just be fine to say that. Like, smoke weed.
That's true. That's true.
Fine. Hell yeah. Why you don't smoke weed? What's wrong with you? Like,
right? That it's going to be legal everywhere.
Heath Barlow just sent us a like. What's up?
Thanks, hey, Heath. What's up, Heath? Man, appreciate you. Thank you so much. So let's get into it, man. Are you ready to get geeky with me? Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm always ready. Let's
do this. Okay, so the first hour, I got so much movie news. So we're gonna exclusively talk movies and a bunch of different things, upcoming, planned, projected. And the second hour we'll go into, I've got video games, TVs, even a little bit of comic book news. So we'll dive into that in the second hour. But let's start with.
No, you went dead for like a heartbeat. Like, great, now we're gonna get yanked after we had so many problems getting on. Now we won't be able to do anything.
No, just making sure that I'm not hearing my transitions, but that's okay. That's all good. So movie news. All right, so obviously, movie news has been severely lacking in the face of all the coronas. But in a new, okay, so this is new. A new UK, United Kingdom bill aims at restarting movie productions. So basically, all these movie productions have been shut down last couple months. There's a report that came out. It says that some films, some movie films, have been given the go ahead to begin filming in the UK as early as July. Now, this includes a few different movies, but primarily, I like to think The Batman is one of the big ones that was filming in UK that got shut down. Another UK based movie that was put on hold earlier this year, Fantastic Beast Part 3, that's in the Harry Potter universe. That halted production just before it was set to begin in March, and it got shut down right before this happened. Another movie that was affected by the pandemic was the live action Little Mermaid, which was supposed to begin filming on March 21st. Obviously, that hasn't started yet. So the idea here is that the approval of these new guidelines paves the way for the UK's film and high-end television production industry, which includes series that cost 1 million plus per episode or movie to get cameras rolling again, potentially as soon as July. The resumption of production would ground to a halt in the face of the spread of the coronavirus, which ground to the halt, will be warmly welcomed by broadcasters, streaming services, cinema owners, all facing, potential future content drought. So the idea behind all this is that the UK is gearing up to be, ready for business as far as movie and TV production, and they specifically call out high end, meaning anything that's over $1 million plus per episode. So, so that's Fantastic Beasts, Little Mermaid, all these different movies are looking at possibly resuming soon, and also other movies that are picking up. Mission Impossible 7. I know there's some people out there that are big Mission Impossible fans. Mission Impossible 7 is slating to restart filming as early as September. And Avatar 2, this is the long-awaited sequel to Avatar. James Cameron is actually just got back to New Zealand, where he had started gearing up for production, but it got shut down before it started. He just got back to New Zealand, and they're going to do a 14-day self-isolation. And then once that's over, they'll be starting to ramp up production for Avatar 2. So you got a lot of movies, big movies that are gearing up production. I think a good thing to realize is that, we had a lot of movies that were done, right, and ready to be released that got shelved because theaters were closed. Then you had certain movies like, let's say, The Batman, which were a good portion into the way of shooting and had to shut down. And then you have a bunch of movies that were just about to start and got put on hold because of this. So I feel like that means that once we start gearing back up, we might get back to a rhythm of movie releases not too far in the future. You know what I'm saying? Because we already have movies that are ready to come out. We have movies that are already almost done, and then we have movies that are slated to begin. So I feel like we'll get back into a rhythm of movies and whatnot. That's the hope. It gets back pretty quickly. Any of those you're excited for seeing? You like Mission Impossible, right?
Well, I mean, I did until your friend really turned me Tom Cruise. So I mean, it's whatever. No, just kidding. I'm just playing. I mean, it's all right. It's all right. Nobody cares about Tom Cruise, right, Mike Larson? But I mean, let's be honest. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I don't know. I again, none of them strike me enough where I'm going to be
running to the theaters.
And I'm still kind of, I don't know, dude. Like, I know, like in the last like 20 minutes, it's been like the last like week. Everyone's like, fuck it, fuck a bunch of Holocaust. I'm gonna go.
Right. So everybody seems to be ready to run out into the streets and screw the coronavirus. Yeah.
And maybe that's how it's supposed to be. I don't know, but I mean, someone was saying like that's why the protesters can do it, is because the coronavirus is cured by tear gas. So and pepper spray.
It's terrible.
It makes it there's the thought process behind
it. It burns everything.
Everything on. You make your nose run so much it just gets all the Rona right out of you.
Yeah.
So I mean,
the secret.
Maybe. So fucked. I'm so mean. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Don't be bringing that negativity in my house, man. What's wrong with you?
I'm joking about it. Fuck it. No, I mean, okay. So, but you are quite a bit more movie savvy than I am. I mean, everyone here can agree with that. Is there anything there that is going to make you leave the safety and security of your own home to go sit in a crowded theater.
So the pop culture layer. Is there anything that could get me out of the pop culture layer? Um,
And not just out of the pop culture layer, but actual into a crowded theater
that's true.
and be
Uh,
around like that.
that's a great question. For the right movie, I'd be willing to, using proper precautions and things.
But of that list that you just listed off, is there the proper movie? Is there the right movie in there?
In those specific movies, the Batman probably would be interested in seeing. But let's also remember that we had movies like Black Widow that were set to release. Mulan was set to release. So there are movies that are just waiting for that green light to get released. Wonder Woman is they're still saying, I think August they're saying. So for those, I don't know if my wife would let me, but I might I might
I'm
sneak
going to the
out.
store. I'm going to the store.
Yeah. You know what I do? I'll take an hour or two or hour. I'll take a couple hours from work and go like when nobody's really gonna be there. Typically, I used to do it all the time. I used to go like Tuesday morning, and go to the movies. There's like two people in the theater.
Yeah.
I enjoy the privacy of seeing the big screen by myself. But that's
No,
actually a
dude,
great.
that might be the safest time to do it, though. I mean,
Yeah.
as you're saying, I think what because I usually go like evenings. Usually, a movie experience for me is like a date night or something.
Right.
So you go have dinner, then go to a movie kind of deal.
See, here's the trick. Don't
Oh.
do date night, man. Do like date lunch
Hmm.
because you get the matinee price of the movie, cheapest ticket on town, and then you take them to a nice lunch. You know what I mean? Which is typically cheaper than a nice dinner. So I don't know. I'm
I
thrifty that way, and to save a dollar or two. But actually, that you brought up a great point, and it kind of segues nicely into our next topic, which is
Segways.
movie theaters in California are officially reopening this Friday.
Ooh.
This Friday, June 12th. So the California governor, Gavin Newsom, and his office has made the move official. Effective June 12th, movie theaters and other family entertainment businesses within the state can reopen should they abide by new social distancing measures. Other family entertainment businesses include bowling alleys, gyms, daycares, day camps, amongst many others. As of now, the state isn't telling movie theaters that it requires the movie goer to wear protective masks. But one new policy, however, does greatly reduce the capacity of all auditoriums. So, according to new mandates handed down by Newsom and his team, theaters can only allow occupancy at 25% of their normal capacity or a maximum of 100 customers, whichever amount is fewer. The California Department of Public Health released a 12-page packet along with the news of the latest batch of reopenings. Theaters across the country have already slowly been reopening. Lots of new policies in place. People, putting the hand sanitizers and things. Most of the movie chains have implemented their own policies in regards to social distancing, such as Cinemark, which has reduced theater capacity across the country. And what's interesting here is that the CEO of Cinemark said the reality is I don't think we're going to be able to get into a full on rhythm again of product cycles the way we were before COVID-19 until about 2022.
Wow.
And he's not blaming the theaters for this. He's saying it's more based on the production, and he says it's more production related than our operation related because studios have had to adapt and not be able to do filming and post production. So he's saying that like because they shut down production, movie productions have shut down, that movie theaters aren't going to be in full rhythm for the next year and a half because they'd have to wait for movies to catch up. I don't necessarily believe that. I don't believe that. Will we see moviegoers the same way we saw before COVID-19? I feel like, yeah, that might be a year, 2 years, year and a half, before we see moviegoers go to the theaters as they've always have. But as far as like movies being released at a typical schedule, I say within the next 6 months, I think, movies will be caught up. They'll start, putting extra money into getting these products out there so they can get the next stuff up. So I definitely think that that's not as big. And this was just breaking news. I just saw this about an hour before we went live that AMC theaters are planning to reopen almost all their theaters in July. So you've got California opening Friday. You've got Cinemark's scatteredly opening across and then you got AMC, which says they plan to pretty much reopen anything that's not in like major downtown areas, and have almost all their theaters open in July. So theaters are ready to get back to work. Um, you know, we got
Well, some of them are like on the verge of bankruptcy, so they're like,
yeah, they're in a rush. They're in a
can
rush
we
to get
sell
back.
bags of popcorn on the corner, like something. Like,
what's the thing? Everything curbside pickup.
yeah,
You can curbside pick up
curbside.
some popcorn dude. You know what I miss? I really do miss those theater slushies, like those big. Like that was my vice. That was my treat, my movie treat. I'd get a nice big slushy, sit at the theater and watch and drink that. Mix some of the flavors, like the blue and the red and the Coke flavored, and oh, so damn good. But yeah, so like I said, this is why I feel that um, we're gonna be getting back to normal-ish, hopefully soon. And I think everybody needs it right now. I think we need an escape. We need a little bit of, you know, I don't know, heroes. We need something to kind of, there's just too much anger and hate right now, and we need positivity and uplifting. I think is going to help soothe the soul, savage soul of all of us and what we're going through and living through. And I think everybody's just so pent up, being locked up for the last 3 months and just stuck inside. I mean, I've loved it. This is my dream come true. But I get for the typical American, this has been very challenging and hard to be, sequestered away in one's own home. I've built myself a protective cocoon for this very for this very actually I never thought this would actually happen. I'm pleasantly surprised. Uh, but
I've
yeah,
been this my entire life. I
I'm
didn't know it was gonna happen though.
I've been ready, bro. You have no idea. So I do have something cool. All right. We're gonna try this. Fingers crossed it's gonna work. Okay. It's the first time we're gonna do this on Pop Culture War. We are what, 18 episodes in? 18 episodes in. This is the first time we're gonna do this. It's been on my mind since episode one. I'm gonna try it out. Let's see if it works. Are you ready for this?
I'm absolutely ready for this.
Okay, so you audience and myself and Radar are going to watch the world premiere trailer for the new Bill and Ted Face the Music movie. The trailer just dropped today. If you didn't see it, now you get to. So hang on. Let's please God let this work. All right, here we go. All right, guys, there you go. The world premiere trailer of Bill and Ted's, thingamajigger. Face the Music. That looks good, man. It looks very good.
It does. It does look good.
But yeah, no, I'm excited for it. I'm super pumped. I think it's gonna be a fun movie. I think that it's long overdue. I mean, my God, what was it? Has it been since the last one? My God, somebody in the chats, Google Google when was the last Bill and Ted movie? And I'm just kidding. It's gotta be what, 20 years, maybe, right?
I mean,
It wasn't in 2000s. Was it in the 2000s? No, can it be? Yeah, that's like a 90s movie. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But either way, there you go, guys. That was Bill and Ted's Face the Music, which looks really, really good. I think the whole premise behind the movies, if you can guess from the trailer, is that, back in the day, their music was supposed to change the world, bring the world together, and it didn't, or it hasn't yet. And so now, whatever it is, 40 years later, they're like, you know what, screw it. Let's just cheat and jump ahead and try to get it, and I'm sure chaos and mayhem ensues. So looks very, 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 very funny. I'm excited for it. And yes, Jeff, I saw your comment. Taco night, $2 taco night, or taco for 2 nights, something like that. That's very funny. I like it. I think it's gonna be a really funny movie, and I look forward to seeing it. I'm a big fan of Keanu Reeves, as we all know, and I think it will be very funny, and I'm excited for it.
I think it'll be good. I'm excited. I mean, it can't suck. I really feel like it can't be bad.
Right,
Really,
right. Like, I mean, I hate when sequels are rushed, and you
mhm.
can kind of feel that they've been rushed.
Yeah.
So I like the idea that this has had a lot of time to simmer and let people come up with great content. Then again, I mean, we've also seen, let's say, look at the Men in Black reboot sequel, and
So,
I don't know. There's been mixed success with sequels that have picked up many years past. That's why when you hear things like Matrix 4 is coming, you're like, I hope it's good. I want it to be good. I really want it to be good.
but I mean, I don't know. Oh, I just hit my microphone. Sorry about that. Um, I don't. I really feel like it has to be. I mean, Kevin Smith is going to have some good stuff, and Bill and Ted, I think, is going to be good.
Mm.
I'm just, I don't know. I'm sitting here thinking, like, man, what do you? I really hope I can't be bad. I
It
really think
can.
it can't be bad. I mean, just in my mind,
Maybe it's not great, but
I think it'll
it's
be
at
great.
least good.
I think it'll be decent, but I don't think it'll be as good as the original. I don't think it can be as good as the
No,
original.
nothing is ever as good as the original. Very few movies have ever surpassed. Like, think of a sequel that was better than the original. I'm thinking, the original Spider-Man 2, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2 was definitely better than the original Spider-Man. Maybe Terminator 2. I'm a big fan of Back to the Future too,
Hmm.
but that original is really hard to beat. Um, yeah, so yeah, it's very rare for sequels to be better, especially third, fourth, fifth, sixth sequels. But speaking of upcoming movies, you see how we segue this shit? It's almost like
Ooh,
we planned this stuff. Speaking of sequels
segue. I love that word.
and transition, swoop.
That's Not so much fun as segue. Plus, I feel like when we say segue, we might actually be out with those little scooters.
Yes, we're trying to get a sponsorship by Segway. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna keep saying Segway. Uh, so here we have the most anticipated 2021 movie sequels. This is a very short list. This was put together by the people at Fandom. Um, I think there's some movies missing out of this list, but that's neither here nor there. So, what say you, chats? In this list of movies, guys, throw out what movies are you most anticipated for. I said this on the Facebook page earlier. Mine are obviously Spider-Man 3, which is slated for November 5th. Followed by Matrix 4, because love me some Keanu, and that's May 21. And then Mission Impossible is kind of my sleeper pick. The only because this guy has gotten crazier and crazier with every single movie he's done. Story, couldn't tell you. I could not tell you for the life of me. And I've seen all of them. Couldn't tell you what's happening or why. But I just want to see what ridiculous stunt he's going to do next. I want to see this guy capture his own death on camera just so he could be the first actor to do so and put it out there. I mean, like, this guy is nuts. Um, so yeah. What about you, man? What do you? We got Fast and Furious 9, Matrix 4, Jurassic World, Dominion, Venom 2, Space Jam 2. Talk about a movie nobody saw coming. Space Jam 2, Spider-Man 3, Fantastic Beasts 3, Mission Impossible 7, Avatar 2, Sherlock Holmes 3. Any of those that you are anticipating for 2021?
No. Sorry about it. Like Matrix, maybe the Matrix. I like the Matrix, but they even by the third one, they were kind of like stretching for some shit. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not the best. Let's be honest. Of the three, um, Sherlock Holmes, maybe. I didn't mind Sherlock Holmes the first two. Guess. I'm sorry. Fast and the Furious needs to fucking die. Right? How many fucking shit movies can you make? What I'd rather watch Snakes on a Plane or some
Oh
shit or
god.
Sharknado. Give me another Sharknado movie.
It here's the thing. It's pure unadulterated just
Shit.
ridiculous. It's just fun. It's mindless fun. Like you go to see that movie, it's turn off your brain and just enjoy. Like you have to, because the things that they do are like I remember the first Fast and the Furious, and I remember like, oh, such a gritty take, and these guys, like, they were doing crazy stuff, but it was within the realm of possibility and believability. And then at some point they're jumping cars from building to building and parachuting cars, and like in the trailer for the one that was supposed to come out that's been pushed back till next year, like there's one point in the trailer where the bridge goes out and the guy jumps the car, and somehow as the bridge is falling, he's able to manipulate the car to get it hooked on the wheel and then swing Tarzan style, and then I guess safely land on the other side. Like, my brain can't compute the level of just absurdity that is. It's just it's. I feel stupid saying, well, it's not possible, because obviously these movies have left possible a long time ago.
Yeah, about like this one.
It's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. I joke with my buddies, and I'm like, at some point, Fast and Furious 22, they're gonna be, drifting rocket ships around the moon and doing laps, and like jumping from rocket ship to rocket ship in outer space. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of like the James Bond franchise, where it went from like this kind of gritty true spy to, over the court, it was just, nanotechnology and invisible plating, and like, things that just fantasy, pure fantasy. And they've gotten just more and more ridiculous over time. Hey, I'm not saying I've seen all of them. I've seen all of them. I am up to date on the Fast and Furious franchise. I don't rush out to theaters to see it.
You say some things on this that I would never say in real life, but that is one. That's one. I am to do with those. Oh no,
I'm caught up.
I watched the second one. Even by the second one, this is dumb.
Like I said, it's one of those things where, like, if it's on TV and it's just one of those things you want to, like, you unplug the rational part of your brain and just say, I just want colors and sounds and things thrown at my face, and I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy it.
If you want to do that, this is free. Just like let the kid just hang out with your kids. Let your kids do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And it's probably Fortnite and listen to like some crazy music. Just do that for like 10 minutes. Your brain just turns to goo as they're listening to Fishing on Me playing fucking Fortnite or some shit. And then you're like, oh, well, now I'm stupid. And then you just feel better for yourself. You're like,
you've got a good point. I do, and I feel like the things that I have a 3-year-old, and the things that would come out of his mouth are more or less close to the kind of stuff that happens in a Fast and the Furious movie, because he's playing with toys and he's like, I'm gonna jump this Tyrannosaurus Rex over this car, and it's in the Lego house, and then it's gonna explode, and everybody walks out. I mean,
is he doing a screenwrite for Fast?
Right. I'm telling you, he's got a future. Kid's got a future, man. You got a future filmmaker.
He could do the crossover between Jurassic Park and the Fast franchise.
Right. That's right. I forget, there was at one point where, like, I forget if it was Vin Diesel or somebody, they were like, oh, we should do a Fast and Furious like Marvel crossover, but that like the Fast and Furious crew would kick their ass. I'm like, it just, like, I mean, they come up with some unbelievable stuff, but it just takes the cake. Like, you guys drive cars.
so we've established that Fast is gonna be garbage. Avatar 2, because I liked the first Avatar, I really did, and part of the reason I liked it was because of that was kind of when, like, I remember like 1080 first came out on DVD, like Blu-ray and all. It was real, like, it's kind of new and exciting, and
HD,
and it really showed what was possible, I think, at that time with the graphics and the CGI of the time, how what could be done. And the Matrix kind of the same way, in a different time period. They're both kind of real cutting edge special effects ish movies. Maybe
set
not
the precedent. Like those are the movies that like set the bar for what other movies tried to accomplish. Yeah.
But I look at Avatar in particular. The plot was okay, but it's kind of dumb. Like if you didn't watch Avatar for the plot, for the story itself.
Right.
Oh, you watched it for all the cool shit that was happening in the movie. So I'm kind of curious as to how that is going to play out. I think it could go one. It could go even because now, I mean, how long has it been? What, almost 10 years since the
Well,
last episode
I mean,
came out?
yeah. Think of it this way, HD was barely a thing. 3D was really barely a thing. The newer 3D, not like the old school red and blue 3D, but like the new optical 3D. They revolutionized that, and now coming into theaters again. By the time 4K, 8K is the new standard. Who knows? I haven't heard anything yet about if they're doing 3D. I would assume so, since they kind of made it big. Um, yeah, I definitely think it's going to be cutting edge, and that's been part of probably the problem with getting it up and running is just like how do we outdo what we did. Um, and I think a lot of it has to do with, from what I was reading, like it's going to be a lot of underwater stuff. Like, because it's like we've explored the surface of the planet, and now there's like a whole hidden underworld underwater.
Mhm.
And like that's going to be, they're going to explore that a lot, and so that'll add a new layer of all this. Think of all the amazing stuff they did CGI above land, and now add in like water. You know, yeah. I mean, I think it'll be good. I think it's gonna make $1 billion. Um,
See,
but
Eas-
you know, yeah, it's not exactly one of the movies I'm most anticipating or looking forward to. But I
right.
definitely think it'll be.
It's not really in your wheelhouse. I understand that,
Yeah,
but I think I really think I actually might really enjoy it. Not for the story, not for anything like that, but for the boundaries it can push.
sure.
And I think I'll appreciate that. Um, I don't know. I think it's Matrix for that same reason.
Hmm.
I really, it's got Keanu Reeves, he's cool, whatevs. But I mean, this is kind of weird to me why because the series or the first three kind of really tied everything up.
Sure.
So how are they
What
going to continue
else? Yeah.
the storyline?
And I mean, at the end of the third one, he dies. I mean,
Right.
that's the. I mean, apparently, it was never in question.
Spoiler
Like he dies in the third one, so apparently now it's like, did he die? Like, I don't
Right.
know. But yeah, in the reading, I was curious about why retread that material, and basically from what I read, they talked about that, especially with Keanu Reeves. They said the reason we're coming back to do it is, they pitched an idea, the idea was solid. They wrote a script, and he said that they really fell in love with the script. That it had something to say. It like there was reason to go back and do more.
Right.
Now, could it be a paycheck? Sure. Um,
Absolutely, it could be.
but Keanu Reeves doesn't strike me as the guy who's in it for the paycheck. At this point in his career, he's made franchises happen, and he's made a lot of money, and quietly he's given away a lot of that money. So I definitely feel like he's doing, because he does his smaller kind of art house stuff that he does quietly. And then even like something like John Wick was kind of a one off for him. He was doing someone a favor, and it was supposed to be this small little thing, and obviously it blew up. But I think at this point in his career, he's just kind of doing what he wants to do and what interests him. And so for him to come back to, like, he didn't have to. He didn't have to come back to this character. It's not, this isn't, let's be honest, this isn't Sylvester Stallone like trying to recapture Rocky. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
he's in a position in his career where he could literally make whatever movie he wants, and people will throw money at him. So for him to revisit a character, maybe he didn't like the way the third one ended. Maybe he didn't like the taste it left in the fans' mouth. A lot of fans weren't happy with how the third one went, and so maybe this is him trying to, like, okay, let's make up for that. Let's leave a good taste, and let's end off on a high note. So I don't know, maybe we'll see.
Could be. I don't know. I am kind of God. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, how do you expand on the story? And I that's kind of, this is me being old, and this is the same thing problem I have with like the Aladdin. fucking like Tuesday. Like spoiler alert. I don't know if anyone didn't know, but I mean it's kind of I don't know. And like okay, Ruben Ramos says the
All right.
Jurassic movie.
Ruben, yeah, Jurassic. A lot of people are into it, man. Growing up, like I saw the Jurassic Park movies, and I was obviously blown away. I mean, the special effects at that time were
Oh,
ridiculous. I mean,
the,
to this day, like you go back and watch one of the originals, like it still holds up between the CGI and the animatronics. Like it holds up. Not a lot of movies can say that. You look at some of those Matrix shots are like real bad compared to like the Jurassic Park stuff. Um, but it never captured my attention the way that it did a lot of people. I didn't immediately want to become a paleontologist after so many people were like I saw that and I wanted to dig up fossils and research dinosaurs. I was like, I saw it and I was like, it was very impressive, very technologically, impressive. And but it never struck a chord with me. And obviously, I'm a big Chris Pratt fan, and I saw the two Jurassic Park movies that came out, and them trying to start anew while also paying respect to the originals, and they were okay, but again, just nothing, and not my wheelhouse, man. Just didn't capture my world the way that some other movies do, and that's fine. It's not for me, but it's for a lot of people, and they did well. They're making a third one, did very well. But yeah, I'm Jurassic Park's not really my thing, but I can see where people like it. I mean, they're fun. They're fun movies.
they are fun, and that's another. I think it's not as dumb as Fast and the Furious, Fast and the Retarded, or
So
whatever.
what's more feasible, jumping a car from building to building, or cloning dinosaurs?
Honestly,
Wow.
anymore the dinosaurs. Let's be honest. Like they're probably about ready to fucking do it anyway. But I'm just saying, like,
Remember when that was like a big concern? Like they're like, oh, they clone sheep. What's next? Dinosaurs? And like that was like a real concern people had.
yeah, fuck yeah, dinosaurs. Clone me a fuck. Yeah. Oh, I actually no bullshit. They're trying to clone uh mammoths.
Wood mammoth. Oof.
Well, 'cause you can like, I guess if I don't know, I've never been to Russia. I speak Russian, never been to Russia. Anyway, long story. But apparently, like out in Siberia somewhere, they're like you can actually find like they're like when the permafrost thaws out, there's like like frozen mammoths like fall out of the mud, right? And so they're getting DNA, and they're actually going to think they can, and they're the thought process is ridiculous because they're Russians, but they're like, if we can bring back these woolly mammoths, then we can stop climate change. I don't know if that's how that works,
I don't. Yeah, that's a.
but they're convinced they can. So I mean, the Russians, you can't tell them not to. They'll probably just I don't know put tusk on a T-34 and like run across the tundra with it. I don't know what they're gonna do, but anyway, that's their idea, and they're actively trying to do that. So if they can do that, I think that might actually be kind of cool. Um,
This
I
can
mean,
only go. Not this year. Don't do it this year. Things have gone so bad this year.
yeah, we'll slow that
This
there.
is not the year. Don't mess around with cloning and all that this year. Uh, yeah, the 2020 is not the year. Nothing is Control Alt Delete this whole year. Nothing has gone right. So here,
Steph says, are they going to do the Fast and the Furious movie in space on Mars, like a Mars rover? I think.
eventually,
I'm,
eventually, if like at some point, yes, at
mm,
some point it's gonna happen. Yes, but my son might be writing that movie as we speak, so it'll be ready for like 2030 something. So it'll be, Vin Diesel will still be wanting to do it. So real quick, we're about to hit the break, but two quick movie stories just to get us out of it. Boom, this one, there it is. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I'm telling you, Radar, you gotta see that fucking movie, man. Come on, Spider-Man
no,
Into the Spider-Verse.
look,
It's so good. But the sequel has begun production. It has begun, even through the pandemic. Today, this was officially today. The lead animator, Nick Kondo, who runs most of the animation production of this stuff, shared a little teaser on his Twitter and basically said, "Today's the first day back on the job." So yeah, they are back to work. It's projected to be done and in theaters sometime in 2022. Super excited for that. Now, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse made about 90 million, or I'm sorry, was budgeted at about 90 million and made domestically 190 plus another 185 overseas, bringing it to about 375 million on a $90 million budget. So you had to know a sequel was coming, and that didn't touch like the 1 point whatever billion that the Spider-Man Tom Holland movie made, but this had a lot going against it because it's an animated movie and not part of the universe and all this and all that. But yes, dude, I'm telling you, one of the best, most heartfelt, true to form, faithfully adapted stories that really makes it feel like a comic, but really makes it feel like a good, wholehearted, wholesome family movie. It is a phenomenal movie. If you haven't seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, please see it. It's so good. It's so, so, so good. And what's the other one I had? Sorry. There it is. There's this one in breaking news. Sonic the Hedgehog is officially announced for part 2. The box office success of the first one obviously kind of made it a no-brainer that a second one was coming. But Paramount has officially gone on record saying that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 will be coming, and the news was confirmed by a report from Variety. And it seems more than likely that Ben Schwartz, who did the voice for Sonic, Jim Carrey, James Marsden will all return for the second adventure. So we definitely have some more animated, fun CGI live action movies to look forward to coming soon. You're gonna see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
sure.
keep bugging
No,
you until you do.
what you're gonna do is you're gonna like play it like during the show.
We're gonna do a watch-a-thon. We're gonna do it live on Pop Culture Warrior. We're gonna have what's those things where you like it's a mystery science theater where we're all gonna just watch the movie together and
I'm
make
actually not,
comments.
I'm not against that. We should do that.
We should
Like on a
definitely do that.
Saturday. Yeah, like
Yeah.
a Saturday night show. We should do that and
Yes. Just go
oh man,
live and just movie with everybody, and we'll just comment as we go. I
yes.
If you
And
guys
we
want to see that, tell us, and we're gonna do it. I love that idea. Actually, I'm screwing around, but I do actually love that idea. My wife
we'll just
won't like it, but
like we can just pick, and I don't even care what movie we pick because I can make fun of any movie you put on there. I don't even.
don't you dare make fun of a Spider-Man movie. I will hurt you.
Okay, we're gonna do a Mr. Science Theater 3000 genre of show, and we're not gonna make fun of the movie. Tell me
We talk interesting tidbits and facts and make fun, lighthearted comments, but we don't make fun of them. Don't make fun of the movie.
Okay, well then do like a dumb one. Do one like
There's plenty of dumb movies.
The Jack Nicholson Joker,
Oh.
Batman. We can make fun of him.
Classic. That's a classic. No, you know what I'd tell you? That last X-Men movie that came out, the fucking Phoenix, which I said was going to be horrible, and it was horrible, and it pisses me off that it was horrible because it didn't need to be horrible.
Why does it piss you off that it's horrible? You knew it was gonna. It's It's like watching NASCAR and getting mad they're turning left.
But that's like I want to be proven wrong in that situation. Like I knew it was going to be bad, but I want to be proven wrong, and I have it. It just, dude, they didn't have to. You know what? Marvel's got the rights back, and they're going to do a good job with it. End of story. Whatever. I'll see the next X-Men movie, and it'll be awesome.
You know what? I ain't gonna be mad. I hope they are. I hope.
It will be. It will be. All right.
I think so.
Guys, we have reached the end of the first hour. Stay tuned for the second hour. We've got a ton more stuff. We've got TV, video games, comic book news, and at the end of the show, stay tuned because we have a special performance clip from a super, super funny lady. She's a Navy veteran and comedian, Maria Batdorff, and she is absolutely one of my, I find her hysterically funny. Radar, you are going to be dying. You're going to be dying laughter. She is so funny, one of my absolute favorites in the local area, and we'll be playing her clip at the end of the show. So stay tuned, and guys, we'll be back very soon with more Pop Culture Warrior. See you soon. Shots.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
Looking up and fading out, cirrus shapes I found blow me away. Van Allen right around, pushing through. Skin is brown, nature has us trapped in fear, so I get lost in sound. I wonder if you'll ever know why I am the way I am. I've been thinking a lot about time and space surrounding. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? I've been thinking a lot about
Call the show now at 415-889-8367. The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hey guys, we are back. Oh, that intro still gets me hyped up. Oh, I love it so much. I'm getting so excited. You there with me, buddy? Radar, are you here?
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm here.
good. Yes, sir. Let's get into it. Let's get into the stuff. Let's get into the thick of it. We talked movie news. We talked lots of movie news. And didn't actually cover everything, so we'll save some for next week. But all right, something we don't get a lot of. So much so that I'm gonna have to let's see. I'm gonna have to dig a little bit because we never really talk about this stuff as much. Do I even still have it? I might not have it. Oh, there it is. Nope. Yep. I should be better prepared. Shame on you, CQ. Shame. All right, let's see if this works. And then, hey, comic book news.
Thank you.
Hey, I haven't used that logo in a long time because comic books have like not existed over the last 3 months. So it's hard to have comic book news when there's no comic books.
Well, that was something I was going to ask you about that because as I saw, you had some some news.
Yeah.
But why? I mean, I understand like you can't get everyone together like in a movie, right? I understand
Right.
you can't do that, but like you think comic books? I mean, you do that from home?
Here's okay. So here's the funny thing. The fact is most artwork, and this is going back. My God, when I did a tour at Marvel headquarters, and this is going back 2012. So this is 8 years ago. I did a tour at Marvel, and at the time, even at that time, they didn't have artists working at Marvel. Like it's like everybody works from home. They have the computers. They do it on the computers. They send us the stuff. There's like 7 to 10 people in the offices, and they're mostly the editors, a couple of higher executives, and then like a lot of like the social media / marketing people. Like that's who works in the office. And so he said they send us all the artwork. So it made me think too, like why did comic books kind of get shut down when the artwork is being sent in anyway? The real fact is a comic book could be created at home virtually. The problem became who's printing them, who's producing them, how are you boxing them, how are you shipping to them to the stores, and all the stores that they're sold at are closed. So why are you even sending them? You know what I mean? So that became the issue. It was how are you printing it? How are you boxing it? How are you shipping it? And where are you shipping it to? Because everything's shut down.
Right.
So that was the major thing. Could they have come up with a way to maybe ship directly to people, like almost like a subscription? You pick your comics, they ship it straight to your house. Yeah, but that would have took them just as many months to figure out, iron out, get it up and running, and then go back to normal. So
and get back to who's going to print it. I mean,
Yeah.
even if the distribution thing was set up, how are you going to? Yeah. No, I get it. I never thought of it that way. I'm just dumb. I was like,
no, I had the same thought. As a comic book fan, I had the exact same thought and really had to kind of walk it through step by step and go, oh yeah, that makes sense. Of course they need people to work there, and do these things. We're not all robots just yet. They're not all robot jobs yet. So comic book news. And this actually, man, you are awesome at super segueing into the things that we're going to talk about, because we're going to speak about distribution. Okay. A lot of you, and I would even all of you, everybody listening, seeing this probably has no idea outside of, there's the publishers, Marvel, DC, all the things, but you guys probably have no idea who the distributors are, right? Because Marvel, DC, even the biggest companies, obviously smaller, super tiny companies, they're their own distributors. They make their own comic, they distribute it themselves. But the big guys, Image, Dark Horse, Skybound, Marvel, DC, all these, they don't distribute their comic books. They make them, they produce them, they publicize them, and then they have a distributor that releases them to the public and gets them to the stores. The biggest distributor of comic books is a company called, and here, you know what? I got something for this. Son of a bitch. Think, Michael, think. I've got something for this. Boom. There you go. Diamond Comic Distributors Incorporated is the largest distributor of comic books. They've done all the big ones, making up of like 80% of all the big names in comic books. Well, DC, as you can see on the big icon up there, has cut ties with Diamond Comics. For the everyday person, this means nothing. Absolutely nothing. If you were to go to a store to pick up your comic book, you don't know how it got there. You don't care how it got there. This has to do really with a lot of behind the scenes stuff. How are comic book shops and the places that sell comic books, how they're getting the comic books from Marvel, from DC. That's really how this affects them. Usually they were able to deal with one company, Diamond Comic Distributors, and be able to get all the comics that they ordered for the shop. Now, because DC has decided they want to cut ties with them, it's going to get a little more complicated for comic book shops, because now they're going to have to go through multiple distributors to get all the different, obviously Marvel and DC make up for like 80% of what people buy as far as comic books. So to stab both of those, they're going to have to now go through 2 different distributors. So it's a whole thing. But basically, the gist of it is that this is what we call a seismic shift in the comic book industry. This is a big deal for comic books. The announcement was made via an email to retailers sent out Friday morning, last Friday, that the company is telling customers that all orders for DC products will be fulfilled by Lunar Distribution and UCS Comic Distributors for periodic releases, and Penguin Random House is actually going to be doing the distribution for graphic novels and collected editions. So again, that makes things complicated for the person not necessarily buying the comic book, like me going to the store and buying it, but for those people getting the comic books, because like I just told you, if you want the periodicals, the week to week, month to month, you have to go to either Lunar Distributor or UCS Comic Distributors. And then if you want the graphic novel, the collected editions, the special editions, hardcover, stuff like that, they have to go through Penguin Random House. So they're adding more people they're going to have to deal with just to get the same amount of stuff that they were getting before. It's again, it's not going to affect the end user unless, I don't know, comic book shops decide to hike up the prices because it's more work for them. I mean, I don't know. But basically, Diamond Comic Distributors has basically a virtual monopoly on all comic book distribution in the North American market. There was a whole thing you guys aren't seeing behind the scenes, and this goes into what we were just talking about, that because of the result of COVID-19, Diamond actually announced that they were shutting down, obviously, distribution, and that they're actually withholding payments to publishers, saying that, look, we're not making money. How can we pay you money? And so it was a whole big thing, and I guess they had a thing with DC, and it didn't end well, and they've now cut ties. So, for Diamond, it's a big blow. They're losing the second biggest publisher in the North American market, which is responsible for nearly 30% of the entire comic book share. So DC alone represents 30% of comic books sold. It's a significant blow. And yeah, they're looking at reopening after a couple months closed, and now they've just lost a big source of income. So we'll see what happens. But I found that interesting, a peek behind the scenes of, these are the business things that you don't really see day to day. Who knows? Maybe they'll make a movie out of it one day. That'd be cool.
You think they will? That'd be kind of sweet, actually.
I'm sure there's some underbelly.
Fuck a movie about it. They need a superhero comic book about this. How fucking
the super distributor.
yeah, fuck yeah. The guy who just flies through the fucking air, like throwing comic books out of like a newspaper bag off his shoulder, like in a people's mailboxes and shit.
Too much. That's good.
I'll get on the screenplay right now.
Yeah, man. I'll get my kid on it. He'll start writing it up.
I have a Discord doing
I
it.
keep getting hairs in my mouth, and it's driving me nuts.
Yeah, it'll be a fast movie. It'll be a Fast and the Furious movie, and it'll be some dinosaur driving a rocket car, uh,
Yes.
that looks just like a Honda CRX.
Yes.
Um,
Lowered, of course.
of course, with the speed fin because that helps a front wheel drive car.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, we'll just have them just throwing comic books out of their window into people's mailboxes.
You
Be
know,
perfect.
I gotta say, sorry. I think I'm done with the beard, man. I think I'm done with
All
it.
right. Nope. Now
I
you
think
need
I'm
to,
done with it.
now
I,
you need to learn to trim it, and now you need to learn how to drive. I'm telling you.
I'm so over it. I'm gonna put a poll on the Facebook page, and winner
Don't.
take all.
Don't.
If I should shave the beard or keep the beard, and
I'm gonna get everybody I've ever met on there and be like, keep the beard.
there you
Keep
go. Well,
the beard.
this will be a democratic process, and we will let the voters speak, and they will elect if I should keep the beard or not. It's driving me nuts. Oh, I'm so sick of it. It's been too long, and it's too hot. It's too damn
It is
hot
hot.
to have a beard.
If you're not used to it, like I'm giving you shit right now, right? I really am, and I don't mean to get on you too much, but I'm used to it. I've had a beard now for God, going on 5-6 years. So, not saying I don't ever shave, but I mean I'm pretty much I at least have something on my face.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mainly
I
'cause-
mean, I keep the
I
goatee
mean,
or
see,
something.
you're all right. You're a handsome fellow. You're a strapping young man.
Oh.
You can pull off the clean shave. I cannot. That I'm old.
Plus I got too much gray showing, man. I'm getting old.
Fix that. Get a Sharpie. I mean, they make things to fix it. If that's what you're worried about, you can fix that.
Nah, I don't mind. I actually don't mind going gray. I'm going gray much earlier than I thought I would, but I don't mind it. No,
Go involved. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I have a beard every year in the winter. It's a great way to keep your face warm. Love it. Grow it out, big bushy beard for the winter. But I never have had a beard in the summer, and it is torture. It's absolute torture. I'm sweaty and itchy, and it's horrible. Anyway, enough about me.
Pretty much give it-
I have breaking news that even you don't know about, sir. This is breaking as of like 15 minutes before we went on air, and it made me think that I need to have a quick animation of like breaking news, like some like the world spinning and like what are those, like a news anchor, breaking news, hot off the presses, something. I'm gonna come up with something. You'll see. I'm gonna have a nice animation, but I do have TV news, and for our TV news, I have this, and again, this just happened about 15 minutes before we went on air. The long-running TV series Cops has been canceled.
No way.
Cops has been canceled.
I fit the world now.
There you go. But listen to this. Paramount Network has decided to dump the longest, or I should say the longest, but it is, stop it. This thing is jumping around. There it is. The long-running true crime reality TV series, Cops, was already pulled from cable channels after nationwide protests of police brutality broke out. So it's already been pulled, the last couple weeks. Notice that there hasn't been any episodes of Cops on, but now they've officially made it official. Paramount said it's over. The network confirms the series has been permanently shelved, saying that Cops is not on the Paramount Network, and we don't have any current or future plans for it to ever return. Cops was headed to its 33rd season. It has aired more than 1,100 episodes. The series originally premiered in 1989, and it ran for 25 seasons on Fox before in 2013, Fox canceled the show, and then cable network Spike TV picked it up, and then obviously Spike TV became Paramount Network in 2018. So, 33rd season. And you know what? I mean, I'm a bit torn about it. Because I get that, the whole reason people watch Cops is to see some crazy shit go down. Like that's the whole point. It's that voyeuristic, you want to see them, get the guy and handcuff him and chasing through the bushes and all this craziness. Same reason why people watch police chase videos, or you know, when it's on the news and there's chase on the highway, that people stop and watch it. You want to see that stuff. Um, but in a climate where people are fighting for change and fighting against police brutality and these things, I can understand why something like that kind of isn't a good look. You know, when people are literally fighting for their not their freedom, but for justice, and to not be, you know, targeted by the police, to have a show that basically glorifies that. Yeah, it's hard to like, how do you spin that? Like, yeah, we understand that you don't like police brutality, but here's our 23-hour block of live on demand police brutality to watch at home. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I don't think there's a lot of police brutality on the show Cops.
Yeah, I mean they edit out like a lot of the worst of it. Like, you never see shootings, you know, you never see, you know, some dude
Yeah.
dragged and beaten and
No,
killed.
on the show Cops itself. On the show Cops itself.
Yeah.
I've never seen. Because I'm not gonna say please don't shoot people. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say there's not beatings. There's not inappropriate things. I'm not gonna say there's not.
Mhm.
But the overwhelming majority of the time, it's not cops just randomly shooting people or just choking out minorities. It's not the majority of police work. It's really
Sure.
not that. A lot of it is what cops has shown for the last 3 decades.
Yeah. We're talking
Oh,
about the show
life-
versus the reality of what's happening in the world. Sure.
No, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, to I'm almost going to play devil's advocate here and say shows like Cops and Live PD and all of these things kind of give normal people, people who have an open mind to these sorts of things, the actual ins and outs of kind of everyday police work. Because I'm not trying to cheapen the events. I think that anybody killed by an overzealous police officer is a bad thing, and that should not happen. But I'm not going to sit here and say we should defund every police department like some people are pushing for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what I'm trying to say is shows like Cops, Live PD, and there's been other ones, and like look at all the murder mystery ones. I know my wife will.
Sure.
Oh, and she can probably solve the fucking murders faster than the cops can anyway. But what I'm saying is, like, these shows kind of give an insight into that lifestyle a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to say there's not bad cops. Not trying to say that some of that shit doesn't need to stop. Time now. I get it does. But there's also good people that are trying very hard to keep us living in a civil society.
Sure.
And you know, and just things like most of the stuff is like domestic violence calls. People just, hey, I got in a fight with my old lady, whatever. The cops come, sort it out, whatever, you know, or stop drunk drivers or investigate accidents or stuff like that. That's the majority of their work. The majority of their work
Yeah.
isn't shooting minorities.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's the corporate people kind of becoming pussies, probably. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. And a part of it is too, Live PD has kind of taken some of their viewership. I agree with that. I mean, I know Mike Larson's kind of said that in the chats, and Cause is in there stirring up shit. He
Hey,
thinks
guys.
he thinks you shave off half your beard. Um,
Left, right, or top, bottom? I don't know. Anyway.
well, here you need to take off half your beard and then the eyebrow on the other side.
Nice.
But no, I mean, and I'm not. There's a lot of things that are being floated around to help stem police brutality, and it's not just in the inner cities, and it's not just against. It's some police officers all across the country. There's bad apples. Whenever you get that many people, there's bad apples.
Sure.
Sorry about it. I'm not trying to defend them, and I'm not trying to cheapen what the good cops are trying to do. I wouldn't want that job. If I wanted that job, I took it years ago. Guess what? Not a cop. Sorry about it. But I don't know, to just say, you know what, fuck it. Like, everyone's just kind of throwing their hands in the air and be like, oh, to hell with it, I guess. You know, we can't be associated with that. And that's wrong.
Mm.
That's because it does cheapen what the people are doing in real life. So I don't know.
I hear what you're saying. I will say one thing, and I don't want to turn this into a political thing because that's why
Yeah.
people watch this show.
Yeah.
I will say the one thing, in that, I served, you served, we served, and I was a combat guy. I was an infantry guy. I was an airborne guy. Like that's what I did. That's what we did. Um, we had very specific ROEs, rules of engagement, what we were allowed to do and what we weren't allowed to do. And the simple fact of that, in a combat situation, in a war, in a country we're at war with, I wasn't allowed to just shoot anybody I want, even if I felt threatened, right? We had very specific rules. If they had a weapon, tell them to put the weapon down. If they don't put the weapon down, let them be. But if they point it at you and they fire at you, then you are allowed to engage and return and fire. If you shoot them unprovoked, you are in serious trouble. And you are, we are stories of guys sent to Leavenworth and locked up, and you're done. You're stripped of all your rank. You're kicked out. You're done. And this is 19-year-old kids that just finished basic a couple months ago. And somebody made a really great point. They said to me, we're trained to kill. Like that's our, like, in the infantry, that's what we do. Like we are there to eliminate a threat. And yet we are told, and then given these weapons of like mass destruction, and then told to have this utmost restraint. And I feel like with the police, it's the opposite. They're trained to de-escalate. They're trained to be peace officers and peacekeepers. But then they make these snap decisions. Guys that are 14 years in the force make these snap decisions and are protected when they maybe make the wrong call, or they maybe overly act or over aggressively act. And it's heartbreaking. You see the stories of the no knocks where woman gets shot in their house. They think someone's breaking into their house. Of course, they come out with a gun and they get killed because of it, even though it was the cops. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get into a whole political thing, but I just think that, if we can hold these 19-year-old kids that have been trained to kill accountable and told, like, if you fuck this up, you're done, then, I feel like the police force, should be just as liable and held responsible when things don't go the right way. And should be, anyway, neither here nor there. Nobody's here.
I 100% agree with you. But on the topic of the show,
Mhm.
we're talking about,
Yeah, and cops.
when I was a sergeant walking around Iraq, it was Sergeant Radar. I had a certain level of accountability, right? I firmly believe that shows like Cops, like Live PD, their body cameras, all that stuff. I think there needs to be more of that stuff because that provides accountability to, if you have something on. We had guys around us who, sorry about it, if we made a mistake, it was getting back to our chain of command. We were not going to be able to get out of it. At least, especially like when I was there in 01, probably could have. Like December of 01, we probably could have got rid of. We kind of got rid of it was Wild Wild West kind of times.
It was,
what I mean?
Early days was.
Yeah, by the time I went back to Iraq in 2000, 2008, you weren't getting away with shit. Also on radar, when you couldn't just drop an AK at someone's feet and be like, "Oh, yeah, they're going." You know what I mean? Like there was a certain amount of accountability there. So if you have a body camera, you have people around you, you have all of these things, and there's all different kinds of ways they can go about it. I'm not going to say I have answers, but you think shows like Live PD, Cops, whatever, and there's other ones too. I know there is. Provide some sort of accountability that we as a society want. So cancel them. Why are these corporate entities shying away from that? And I get it. There's people right now on the streets in major cities in this country that are fuck the police, and they're burning the fucking place down and looting targets and every other goddamn thing because they're angry at the police department. Get that. What does canceling the show do to benefit that?
Right. Yeah, it's a political move for the station to show, like, hey, we support. Like, I get what you're saying. I absolutely get what you're saying. And I've never, like, Cops as a show, I've never really seen it like glorify police brutality or violence or anything like that. Obviously, there's situations where they're dealing with, so and so drug dealer and they got to chase him down and tackle him and all this and all that. But like you said, knowing they have not just body cams on, but like the old school, like dudes running behind them with the camera and everything like that. Like obviously, they maybe behaved better. And who knows, maybe that was a good thing. But yeah, I just think that looking at, again, I always try to look at it from a business perspective. So if we keep the show on, do people boycott our network, right? And then, because you got to appease the masses. And then also, like, okay, well, if we change the show and we're only going to show cops at their best, to show that cops can be at their best, then it's like, who wants to watch that? As the guy's sitting there for 13 hours on his shift, giving out speeding tickets, like then nobody wants to watch it. So it is definitely a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. So I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, we got lots more to talk about. Let's talk about something other than cops.
Oh yeah, I love talking about things. Basically, anything else with the cops, especially right now. Sorry about it.
Speaking of vigilantes, great segue. So, I mean, I know you're not a big watcher of it, but like the CW, DC universe of shows, right? The Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, all these different shows, Black Lightning, and all that. Supergirl. Well, they had Batwoman, and I say they had Batwoman. I mean, they still technically have Batwoman, but a week or two ago, big news bomb was that the woman who's playing Kate Kane, Batwoman, Ruby Rose is her real name, the actress, quit. She's done. She's hanging up the cowl. She said, after one season, I'm out. I'm out of the show. And the show is picked up for a second season. So it's like, well, okay, what are they going to do without Batwoman? That's kind of, the show. So, and do I have something? I do have something for this. I do. Hang on. There it is. Boop. So yeah. So that is Ruby Rose, who played Kate Kane, Batwoman, on the Batwoman TV show. Well, the latest news is that they're not going to recast the character. They're not going to hire a different actress to play that character. They are completely, I guess, going to write the character off and have a new person come in to play Batwoman. So this goes to earlier this week, there was a new casting call that surfaced that suggests the show would be instead moving on from Kate Kane to a whole new character. And so we now have this from the series showrunner, Caroline Dries. She says during a virtual ATX television festival appearance, she said that while they did consider going forward with the recast, right, just bringing in a different actress to play the same character, especially considering there have been episodes already written for the second season with Kate Kane as the character. They said that the executive producer, Greg Berlanti, actually helped them make the decision to go with a whole new heroic character. She said, to be honest with you, I did consider a very soap opera version where, you just swap out characters. No big deal. And she said, I had that thought selfishly because, we had already written episodes that we were really happy with. And transition-wise, it would have been seamless since we've already started, breaking in season 2. But upon further reflection, and she said Greg helped her make this call, they just decided, I think we should just reboot the character in terms of the character of Batwoman as a whole different person, and that also helps pay respect to what, this actress has done for the first year to establish the franchise, and not just, sidestep it and be like, totally the same person. But yeah, this is a tough situation because, okay, and the casting, like there was a casting call that they're trying to find the right actress, and apparently they're looking for another woman to play lesbian. and it's going to be, you know, very. They said it's very different from the Kate Kane version of Batwoman, because this, like, even though this woman will be physically imposing, right? She will be a fighter. She will be scrappy. She's not Kate Kane. She's gonna be like, apparently she has a history of being like a drug runner, and like had all these brushes with, you know, the law enforcement, and then, you know, through circumstances, you know, picks up the cape and the cowl. But you know, much more not as disciplined as Kate Kane is, more like vicious, but also kind of wild, I guess is the best way to put it. So yeah, so they're definitely looking to bring in a new character to play Batwoman, but I don't know how does that. I'm trying to think. I've seen, you know, I've watched the whole first season, and a big part of the show was her kind of love triangle with the different women of the show, but then also her father is the head of the law enforcement that also wants Batwoman, you know, captured or whatever. So that was a dynamic. And then her main arch nemesis is her twin sister. So those dynamics are like at the core of this whole show. Like her relationships, her dad, the police force, and then her crazy sister who's like a Joker wannabe. So how do you bring in a whole new character and then fit that dynamic with a character that has no relationship to any of these people, right? I don't know how they do it, but that's their job. So that's the direction they're going with, and new episodes are set to return January of 2021. So they've got, you know, 6 months or so to figure it out, but they need to get cracking because they already had a bunch of episodes written and storyboarded for season 2 with Ruby Rose in mind, and now they're gonna have to scrap that and literally go back to the drawing board. So interested. Thoughts? Do you have any thoughts about who should play Batwoman?
No. Why would I? No. Man, I love you. I love you, and I love your show. And I love it, but who? I am not anywhere near qualified to even make recommendations on casting for a lesbian Batwoman. Like, man, I don't know.
You know anybody? Do you know anybody in Hollywood that might want to play the character? I love just throwing it to you randomly because it's just fun.
Like, Ronda Rousey? No, I don't. Maybe I don't know. Oh, who's the chick from that '70s show? The tall redheaded chick.
Oh yeah. She was also in Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Ruby Rose.
Yeah, with Ruby Rose in that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she actually could. She actually could probably do all right. I mean, the same kind of concept. She played a lesbian well.
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah.
She was a very believable lesbian. Is she a lesbian in real life? I don't even
I don't
know.
think so. I don't think so.
I didn't Facebook stalk her or
Speaking
anything.
of lesbians in real life, again, you segue like better than anyone I know. Just came out that so kind of side topic, but the Supergirl show. Obviously, you have Kara Danvers, you know, the Supergirl. Her sister in the show. Oh, it turns out that she's gay, and that was like a whole big thing. Which I remember when they made that, I said, okay, I see what they're going with story wise. And it always makes me curious because when the show started, she wasn't gay. She was, you know, dating different guys and stuff. So I was like, man, that as an actress, I wonder how that feels to be like, okay, listen, this season your character's gay, and it's like, oh, to be put in that corner where you're like, I guess I'm gay now. But she just actually the actress came out and said that she is actually gay. She came out of the closet and said it's crazy that the circumstances happened the way they did, and that my character came out as a lesbian, and turns out that I am also a lesbian. So yeah, so it's a strange set of coincidences that these things are happening. But to answer who I think, and it's unfortunate she's a little bit older now, but I think you get like a Michelle Rodriguez. I'm thinking like young Michelle Rodriguez, like when she was in Girl Fight, I think was the name of her movie. But just tough, scrappy, I think she would have been a great Batwoman.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Neither here nor there.
I don't think you're wrong. Yeah, Tom Cruise. Yep, there you go. Right, fucking Tom Cruise.
I bet you he could play a great lesbian. I bet you he could play a phenomenal lesbian. If anyone can do it, he could act the shit out of that. All right, so enough with lesbian news. I'm gonna get some hate mail for this. Okay.
And he does. He's right. He does his own stunts. Yeah, fuck yeah. He's on this shit.
That's good. That's funny. That's funny. As a lesbian, he does all his own stunts. I like that.
Katie Nixon. What about Katie Nixon?
Katie Nixon. Who's Katie Nixon?
I don't know. Heath Barlow says Katie Nixon.
That name, I'm drawing a blank. You're gonna...
Mixon, Mixon. I don't know. I don't know who any of that people are. I am not. Hold on, I'll Google it.
Shame on me for not knowing a person's name. I bet you I know like the character or the actress, whatever they've been in, but the name is I'm drawing a blank on the name.
Hold on, I'm pulling up Google. Katy Mixon. Katie Mixon. Yep, I just did it. What? No. You sure about that? Heath, are you sure about this, chick? Did you Google her?
I did not. What?
I mean, okay. Well, I don't know which.
She's got an IMDb. What was she in?
I don't know. She's American Housewife.
American Housewife. Yeah, I don't watch that.
Okay, there. I don't know. Okay.
I know the show. I just don't watch it.
I'm looking. She was in Eastbound and Down.
Okay. There's something I've probably seen her in.
But okay. I'm gonna say this out loud, and I'm not in any way.
Don't get us in trouble, man.
I'm not shaming either one of her body types, but she goes from about a size 4 to a size 40, kind of depending on which picture I pick on. But I mean, okay, Michael, I'm saying big girl, but there's one here where this is I don't know, a stock photo of her, and she's in some red carpet or blue. She's in front of a CBS thing, and she's, I don't know, rather not large. But then there's other ones I pick on, and she's she could double for the Titanic in the movie Titanic.
Jesus, holy
shit! Hey, I'm not even fat shaming, but like I'm just saying,
you're gonna get us in trouble. The views expressed by Radar are not the views of Pop Culture Warrior and WTF Nation Radio. I need a button. I need a button for that. The views expressed here.
Don't have, well, they just say Radar. You should have that bumper where how much coke she does. Well, I mean that's everyone in Hollywood. Oh, I'm so mean. This one, she's pregnant. Sorry about it.
You're fat shaming a pregnant lady. Oh, I bet you feel good about yourself now.
Copy link. I'm gonna send you this link, and you pull it up. And if you wanna show her to the world, you can. I'm not trying to.
Moving on. Do I got a sound for this? I don't.
You need the beep noise. It's what you need.
One eternity later.
All right, just click on that link, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
All right.
This is the closest thing you'll see to her in a Batwoman costume.
Okay.
I'm
willing to give it a shot here.
You can tell me what you think. Because like, there's this. She's kind of hot in a couple of them.
Oh, I know who that is.
Can you? I don't know if you want to share that picture or not. I don't know if we can. I don't know the rules.
Better not. People know who she is. She's an American housewife. She's in stuff.
I mean, she's not. I don't know. In that picture, she's not flat. It's not flattering. Some of them, she's not unattractive. I mean,
no, not at all. Not at all. You know,
there's probably girls that look just like her that I owe child support money to. So, I mean, there's.
Yeah. No, we're good. We're good. Moving on.
We're not moving on. We're moving backwards.
No, I demand it. Oh, okay. So I pulled up the little thing in case you didn't see it. Here you go. Boom and boom and boom. Gaming news. I'm just gonna make it go away.
Make what go away? I like it. I like everything we do.
I love everything we do. It's awesome.
Yeah,
right here. Boom. Let's do this one.
Okay, let's do it.
This is, oh my God, my notes. There it is. Okay, we talked about this like a week or two ago. PlayStation was supposed to have this big reveal. They were gonna finally show what the system looked like. It was gonna be they show games and all this stuff here, blah blah blah. Got postponed. Well, it leaked earlier today, and then finally was PlayStation came out and just basically announced it that the PlayStation event, the PlayStation 5 event, will take place later this week, Thursday, June 11th, specifically 4 p.m. Eastern. So we are finally going to get a look at what the brand new PlayStation will look like. And based on the designs, I mean, it's anyone's guess. It really is anyone's guess of what it could possibly look like. But they've confirmed the event is June 11th. They said I want it. This is coming straight from I think like the content communication director or whatever. But he says I want to add that this will be a pre-taped program, which we will broadcast at 1080p and 30 frames per second. Why is that a big deal? Because these new systems are running, 4K gaming at 60, 120 frames per second. So it's not, they're basically laying it out like, hey, it's going to look good, but it's going to look a lot better in person. That's the idea. They say, look, we're just trying to ease the production process during a time that many of our team and developers are working from home. So what you'll see on Thursday will look better when you actually play it on your PS5 with a 4K TV. But what you're going to be seeing online is going to be a version of that, because they're not going to be pushing out 4K for this kind of stuff. He says, he also added, if you intend on watching, that it's also best if you watch while wearing headphones if you can, because there's some cool audio work that's going to be in the show that might be harder to appreciate if it's coming through your phone or laptop speakers. They added that I'm excited to share that we will soon give you the first look at games you'll be playing after PlayStation 5 launches this holiday. The games coming to PS5 represent the best in the industry from innovative studios that span the globe, studios both larger and smaller, those newer and those more established, all have been hard at work developing games that will showcase the potential of the hardware. Whatever the event actually does, I mean, we'll see here in 2 days. Thursday, June 11th, 4 p.m. Eastern. I will tune in. I haven't had a PlayStation since I think PlayStation 3. But I am curious to see what this looks like. I'm curious to see what games they're going to announce. And who knows? Maybe that drives me back towards PlayStation. Maybe they show off some stuff that just is so mind-bendingly awesome that it drives me back to PlayStation. We'll see. The only thing we've seen released so far, they've given us the tech specs, and they've given us these, which are the Dual Sense controllers, not the Dual Shock that we've been accustomed to for the last 4 generations. So these are the Dual Sense controllers. So, yeah. What do you say, Radar? PlayStation? You're interested? Want to see what they're gonna do?
I want to see it. I want to see it. I will probably. I'm guessing around Christmas time, maybe before have a next gen console. I will have the new gen console because I'm a spoiled white kid. Sorry about it. I don't want to say, but I will have the new one. But they're gonna have to really, really wow me. It's gonna have to be fucking leaps and bounds better than the Xbox for me to get one. If I'm honest.
So you are a one console guy. You're a guy that's gonna be. I'm either gonna be Xbox or I'm gonna be PlayStation.
Well, here I will have a new one because I'm spoiled.
Mhm.
But I won't have two new ones because I don't play enough. I don't have enough to justify it. And anymore, I had an Xbox 360 and a PlayStation 3 for a minute, right? Just because they were different. There was enough differences in them and differences in the games and stuff. I just really gravitated towards the Xbox, and then a lot of the games. There's so few, kind of console specific games to each one.
The exclusives.
It wasn't necessary to have both of them.
Yeah.
So I just everything about the Xbox I like better than when the Xbox One came out. That's one I stuck with. So now the new PlayStation, I don't know, because there's really gonna have to. I don't have a PS4. There's the kids have one. They like it. and I sit there and we this is no bullshit. The exact same televisions, right? They're both Sony Vizio, and like we bought them the same day, they're the same TVs, right?
Mhm.
Set up the same graphics, same everything. One of them has a PlayStation 4 on it. One of them has an Xbox One. Okay, two kids both playing Fortnite, same TVs, literally right next to each other.
Can't tell the difference.
Can't tell the difference.
Of course.
So like I said, for me, the fucking controller, like all of the things, is gonna have to really. PlayStation is really going to have to wow me to get Radar to buy one.
Mm.
Not saying, maybe the Xbox is going to suck, or and as I kind of don't want to be like the first one, because maybe someone's like, oh, the console catches on fire because it gets too hot or sucks in dust or whatever.
Right.
Cool. Those are things that I'm going to take into account. But
Okay.
I don't see it being leaps and bounds better than the Xbox, and I don't see the Xbox being leaps and bounds better than the PlayStation. I just kind of see it as being personal preference. It's kind of like
Yeah.
when I'm looking for a new truck, I'm not going to look over the Chevy dealer. I'm going to go look at the Ford or the Dodge place.
Right.
Just doesn't matter. It's going to do everything I want it to do, but
And here's the thing too, given the history, PlayStation has always been technically ahead of the Xbox as far as like the specifications, right? The size of the drives, the speed, the power. This is the first console iteration where if we can believe what we've been told based on what Xbox put out there and based on what PlayStation put out there, the Xbox has the better equipment. They have the bigger processors, the faster, the more teraflops and the bigger drives and it's all better. So this might be the first console where like I almost wonder like if PlayStation's playing at something. Like if they've got something and that's why they've been so secretive and like they've given us everything else except what it's going to look like. Like is it something so out of the box and so wild that like that, because usually their focus is being the technically better system, right? The more powerful system, like they adopted Blu-ray first, like all of like they always want to be pushing the technological side of the house. So I almost the fact that they're not the leader this time makes me wonder: did they put time and resources and effort somewhere else that we're just not even grasping, and like we're gonna be just so blown away when it comes to the press event, and they're like, like I still to this day remember the iPhone's press conference where they're like, an iPod, a media player, your cell phone, and it's like it's now one thing, and it was everybody's like, what the like no one had ever thought of that.
yeah, how can they mix all of it? This is ridiculous.
Exactly. So I wonder, is that something that we could possibly see? Now I'm reaching here because there's nothing to back that wild accusation, that claim, but just the fact that they haven't shown what the system's going to look like, and they've been so secretive. They've only shown us controllers, and then they've only leaked little bits of like what the processing power and all this and all that's going to be. Why the secrecy? Why? I almost said Marvel. Microsoft just put it out there. They're like, look, this is what the system looks like. But we're going for, and they said we're going for a different design. It's more like the tower. It's more reminiscent of like a PC now. It's thinner but taller. So I wonder is what's PlayStation playing at? And I'm very curious. I'm very curious. And if they can wow me, maybe I get a PS5. I mean, here's the I'm definitely getting the Xbox One Series X, which again the names they gotta come up with better names.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely getting the Series X. But I'm gonna be paying attention. I'm gonna be paying close attention to this thing. But lastly,
Would you buy
Sorry.
both?
oh, it's been a long time since I've had multiple systems, but it's possible. There might be a case for it because I have like my office where I have my Xbox, and then maybe like I don't know my game room where I can put like the PlayStation. I mean, there could be a reason to have two different systems. They'd have to really show me a difference, and like the only in all the years that PlayStation 4 has been out, the only game I was sad I couldn't play was Marvel Spider-Man. That's it. That's it. The Last of Us, I think, wasn't it on the PlayStation 3, and I played it because I had the PlayStation 3 at the time. So like thinking about like The Last of Us 2, which is coming out, and I'm like, ugh, I would kind of like to play that because that was a really good game, really really good game. Um, but outside of those two games, I really can't think of anything that I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I didn't get to play that. God of War was a big one. Everyone loved it. Never been a big fan of the God of War franchise. I get it. It looked gorgeous. I watched video of it. Looks gorgeous and it's a great story. But it's never been my thing. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But couple quick. Oh my goodness, we're pushing time here. So let's couple quick stories, and then we will call it a night, folks. Um, I will show you this. This was a big one coming out. Cyberpunk 2077. It's a big one coming out soon. They were set to have as you can see in the picture, June 11th. They were doing this thing called the Night City Wire. It was going to be a big press event where they showcase a bunch of the stuff and really get you hyped for the game. It was set for June 11th, but just like with everything else, they're pushing it back because at the moment other things are taking priority. And so, just as an update, they have moved it back to June 25th. June 25th, Cyberpunk 2077 will release a bunch of new gameplay footage and news and information and whatnot. So once that comes, we will definitely cover it here on Pop Culture Warrior. What else? Need for Speed is officially in development. There's another. The last one was Need for Speed Heat, which got its final DLC add-on. They added on a crossplay, so you can play if you're playing with PC or PlayStation or Xbox. You can actually crossplay now. Need for Speed Heat. It's the last update for that title. The company said we are putting all of our chips into development for the new game. So we know that there's a new game coming sometime soon. So if you like race car games or Fast and Furious movies, then Need for Speed is for you. And lastly, there was a leak earlier on it was the PlayStation. What was it called? PlayStation platform, something like that, where there's basically this spot where PlayStation will update a bunch of stuff in the background. They do patches and things like that, and someone got access to the network, the Sony network, and basically found a patch for what looks like will be UFC 4. So if you're a fan of the UFC fighting series, which I'm a big fan, I think it's an awesome game. UFC, badass games. They had a game that was listed as Magnum. What's the name of the game? Terrible name. But basically,
Awesome.
somebody got access to it and they started looking through the files, and it had a bunch of pictures and information for what apparently will be UFC 4. So that game is obviously in development. I mean, we had to figure it's in development because UFC games always make a bunch of money, but it hasn't been officially announced. So it looks like, here sometime soon, EA will be making an official announcement that yes, UFC 4 is in the works, and when we'll possibly get an update. EA has a game conference coming up. I think it's June 18th. So because June is usually when we have E3, which is the big game developers conference, and all this stuff usually comes out. But now each developer's kind of doing their own thing to hype up their own games, since we're all working from home. So June 18th, EA is going to do theirs, and I wouldn't be surprised if they drop that proverbial bomb that UFC 4 is coming. So that's that, man. That's all the news we got for this week. I will. I don't know, Radar. Do you want a little Joe Exotic news? Should we save it?
Let's save it.
Let's save it.
Let's
All right.
save it. I save it. But that's that's like Walking Dead. We have some
Cliffhanger. We're gonna leave a Joe
good
Exotic cliffhanger. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what. We'll start next week. First story out the gate. We'll come in with the latest in the Joe Exotic, the twists and turns of the Joe Exotic case. We got some juicy gossip we can cover. But all right. Well, that said, I'm gonna toss it to you, Radar, to do your thing. And then we'll say goodnight, and we will play our very, very, very funny clip. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us. We got a super funny clip from the awesomely talented Maria Batdorff. But first, Radar, take it away.
Well, you have been listening to Pop Culture Warrior with CQ and myself, Radar. we really enjoy showing up and hanging out, and we really do appreciate it. And then tomorrow night we have a Dawn's Day of no scheduled activities, where we will do nothing. Well, we will do lots of things, but we won't be on the radio or Facebook or the podcast or anything. And then Thursday night we got Sergeant's time. The big Sergeant Spanky is back this week, I believe. Not me. I did it last 2 weeks. I think they say Spanky's back. Maybe not. But Ice will for sure be there. They talk all things big Army, National Guard reserves, all the fun stuff. They will be keeping you up to date with the COVID and the Fragos and all that stuff. And then Friday and Saturday, both are days off, unless we do our Mystery Science Theater 3000 show.
We're working on it.
Well, but then Sunday coming back with Kicking It with Cause and Owl, or Team Old, as they're affectionately known. We'll be bringing you lighthearted humor and all their fun hijinks and whatnots and what have yous. And then Monday night we got the Monday edition with Ice, and I don't know who's gonna be on. It's been I think Flash is out saving the world or something, or I don't know, putting up fires out at riots or some shit. I don't know what he's doing.
He's been keeping busy.
He is a busy man. But so maybe he'll be back on Monday. I'm not going to talk for other people anymore. They'll be here, they won't. But the show will be going on, and Monday edition on Mondays, and then back to us on Tuesdays.
That's right. Thank you so much, sir. So yeah, guys, with that, before we leave you tonight, we have a very, very special funny clip. I've known Maria for a couple of years now. She is incredibly funny, incredibly talented. One of the people that truly make me laugh when I watch her set. She is a Navy veteran and also I want to make sure I say this right, a lieutenant commander in the Navy Reserves. I try to respect where it's due. Yeah, so with that, I want to wish you guys all a great night. I love you. Thank you for tuning into the show. We'll see you next week, and stay tuned for a funny clip from Maria Batdorff. Shots.
All right, the next comic we got coming to the stage, she was a Navy officer active for, she says, 7.5 years. Give it up for Maria Batdorff.
Hello. I was homeschooled from kindergarten to 12th grade. Sometimes people ask me, well, how were you socialized? I tell them, I wasn't. Now, back then in the state of Michigan, homeschooling was illegal. And before TLC made it a trend, it was a covert operation. I have 10 brothers and sisters, and we lived like Anne Frank. Except we were allowed to go outside, as long as we stayed in the backyard. My siblings and I thought it was important to blend in with our community, but the only other kids we saw were on TV. So we dressed like Little House on the Prairie. I was really into those little bonnets. Now, when I was 6 years old, my parents strategically relocated us to a small farm 2 miles from the nearest town. Population, 700 senior citizens. My mom would have to go to the grocery store during the day, and she would have to take us with her. So, like any good Christian, she taught us how to lie. And it's a good thing that there was a high turnover rate among the cashiers at the grocery store, because my grandfather died 20 times in 1 year. So when my siblings and I weren't busy lying to the grocery store cashiers, we were out on our two-way radios keeping a watch for those gray vans with men that might try to kidnap us. You know, the ones from Child Protective Services? Another question I get asked is, well, do you feel like you were put at a disadvantage? But I know history. Many people were homeschooled. George Washington, Albert Einstein, Charles Manson. Now, there are some things you don't learn from being homeschooled, like how to make friends. I still remember the first time I tried to make a friend when I was 15 years old. what a 2 weeks that was. Another thing that you don't learn from being homeschooled is sex education. So a few years ago, I decided it was time for me to remediate this deficiency. I started watching some of those online tutorials. But as it turns out, they're not geared towards beginners. And I was told this was not an appropriate use of the library's internet. Even when I put the sound on mute. So my friends all told me, you gotta go on Tinder, it's the easiest way. So I set up my Tinder profile and I started swiping. The first thing I noticed about Tinder is you can be very specific about what you're looking for. So the first guy I looked at, he had blue eyes, blonde hair, and a nice smile, and he had written on his profile, I'm looking for women not taller than 4'9" to hook up with because I'm a 5'3" male and I have a micro penis. I said, well, this is not going to work. I'm not into blondes. Another thing I noticed about Tinder is you can also be vague. So the next guy I looked at had dark hair, and all he had written on his profile was 6'2". I said, well, 6'2" looks nice, so I swiped right, and we matched. We started chatting, set up a date. So we met for drinks. And right away, it didn't start out well when I had to remind him to compliment my new bonnet. And he got a little edgy when I told him that I plan to homeschool our children. But in fact, things are going well. We're still on the date. I'm just waiting for him to come back from the bathroom. Thank you very much.